My bad, excuse me. My name is Alvaro Miranda, and I did my presentation over Giovanni Bellini. This is a quick overview of my presentation. Giovanni was an Italian painter during the Renaissance period. The Renaissance period is also known as the period in that European history went from the Middle Ages towards the modernity or the modern world. It also introduced many great artistic talents, for example, Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, I believe. I will go over a couple of his artworks and describe what I like about him and any other facts that I have found or have thought of. Afterwards, I would be assessing Giovanni Bellini's artistic history and decide if his artworks have survived the test of time. Early life, he was born in 1430 in Venice, Italy. He was born into a family of painters. His siblings were Gentile Bellini, who was the oldest, and Nicolosi Bellini, and his parents were named Jacob Bellini and Anna Riversi. He died in the year 1516 at the age of 85. His father introduced him to painting, and he gained inspiration from mostly gained inspiration from his brother Andrea Mantegazza, but he gained overall his paintings as he improved. He gained much inspiration from many other artists. As for example, Donatello, he was able to take from the expressiveness from Donatello's style and put it into his art style, as well as what was the name? The manner like style from Giorgione, as well as Titan, which is another artist, and his style of realism came from Antonello Messina, and his spatial logic came from Pietro della Francesca, is how you pronounce it, I believe. Well, anyways, he worked all of his life in Venice, as his own career spanned a total of 65 years. His style mostly consisted of the technique named tempera, which is a fast drying and is used to blend colors while making special illusions, which took lots of time to create. As in one of the paintings, you will see that he started in a certain year and ended in 5 years later. In his early career, he went from religious paintings to La Madonna and child paintings, which is a female and a child painting. There was also controversy of him being an illegitimate child, as his first mention was in 1471 in the will of Jacob's wife, who was Anna Riversi. That caused some controversy if he was illegitimate, because if so, he would have been older than his older brother. But it was proven that he was the younger one and that he was a legitimate child, I believe. These other paintings, two of his paintings, you could tell that Giovanni has a certain style when it comes to paintings. As when it comes to females, he usually draws more or less the same person, but with children as well. They also have their eyes closed, as which is a very interesting detail, because all of his paintings that include a female, they are holding a child and they have their eyes closed, which is very weird. Or who knows, that might have been his signature, as many people call it. This is a comparison of two artworks. Uh, he has painted many Christian paintings, as he shows Jesus Christ dead, being held up by two angels on the top, as well as the painting of Saint Jerome reading in a landscape on the bottom. Uh, this is the Virgin Mary, as it said. That is a mistake on my part for the name of this painting. But this painting shows his ability of natural lighting, and which is later on shown in his paintings. What makes him important? He was the one of the first paint. He was the first painter to introduce the Renaissance style to his home country, Venice. His accomplishments can be easily overlooked for many artists because he had much competition in the Renaissance period. But he's also known for bringing the Venetian style up to date and was able to lay the foundation for the art of Titian, which is another painter. He was also the founder of the Golden Age of Venetian painting, which is the age, which is as I said before, but that is his age name. His progress overall inspired Giorgione, Titan, Tintoretto, and Vernonti. I would like to mention that Tintoretto was a very detailed painter. I sadly did not put any paintings of his, but all you need to know about Tintoretto is that he has some very detailed paintings and Christian paintings as well. Very religious. Both of them were actually very religious when it came to paintings. This is the Dead Christ being supported by two angels. The location which is held in the National Gallery. Out of all these paintings, this was one of the few that stood out the most to me, as it shows Jesus Christ being lifted by two angels, and which I believe are taking him back to paradise or heaven, whatever you may call it. In this painting, I like the details on the wings and the hair and the facial hair on them. As with the angel's wings, you could tell that each one has a feather, as you could tell by the lines around them in the wings. One angel has curly hair, which you're easily able to see, while the other one has long, straight hair. They both have a worried face, which is very impressive to do. And that Jesus Christ has his crown of thorns detailed on there, with blood flowing down his face as well. You can even see the detail on his beard and such other ones. This is what I believe to be one of his most earlier paintings, as the hands aren't as detailed on the angels as later paintings are. I believe the top things are symbols, but I do not know what they mean. And you can also see the wrinkles on the clothing and whatnot. This is the Agony in the Garden, which is one of his most famous paintings, as it depicts a man praying while his peers are sleeping. From what I can tell, they're having a rough time, and one of them is praying for a brighter future, while the others are not. This painting also shows how great Giovanni was when it came to natural lighting, as you can tell that the sun is either setting or rising in their surrounding, and it is getting darker as well. Uh, Excuse that number 6, I just noticed that. Back to the painting. In this painting, you can tell that they're wearing similar clothes, all the men around them. And they are each very detailed. As with one of them, the leg is up, and the clothing is has a as what is the word? It surrounds it very beautifully, as he draws the wrinkles in each of the clothings. You could tell that there are people in the background. You can see buildings in the background as well, roads, and in the very back you can see towers, which is very impressive. There's even an angel that the man is praying to, I believe. The sky is very beautifully painted. I love everything about this picture. You could even the rock. You could see the crevices. There's a hole there. Everything about is very detailed. Very detailed paintings is what he did. This is the portrait of Fra Teodoro, I believe is how you pronounce it, of Urbino as Saint Dominic. In this portrait, you can really see the small details that Giovanni was able to put emphasis on, as well as the man's face is separated into light and dark, which is some amazing detail in his part. As on the darker side, you can see that the face overall has more shadow emphasized on, and on the lighter side, it doesn't have as much shadow as the other side is emphasized on. You can tell the wrinkles on the man's forehead, his eyebrows are white, as seen there. Even the pupil in his and the man's eyes are is very well drawn and painted. The clothes, it looks very realistic, which is his realistic aspect that he has done, alongside the curtain and the flower. Even on the flower, you could tell the petals each curve to a different side and have lines on them. The leaves on the flower very well painted, drawn as well. The book, it has little details on the sides of the book, as many people back then, I believe, would put designs on their books. Even there, you could see the little design as most books have in the middle. This is the portrait of Doge Leonardo Loredan, is how I believe you pronounce it. It's another great example of how Giovanni was able to use great natural lighting and very detailed as well. Along, you could see the clothes were very detailed as what a pope would be, which I would believe, and wrinkles on his mouth as well. Everything, you can even see little facial hair that he would have shaved off, I believe. I don't know what the top part of his cap is called, but is very well designed, very well detailed. I love everything about it. The little beads on the man's chest, the design, everything is great about this picture. The background might not be the best, but it is very emphasized. This is the assassination of Saint Peter Martyr. This picture shows depicts the assassination of Saint Peter. With his use of natural lighting, you can see that he was killed in the afternoon. Excuse me. As he is able to use the color scheme of a sunset. The trees, the leaves on the trees are very well detailed. He went into emphasis on each and one of them, even left gaps as actual real life trees would have, and lets it seep through the blue so you can be able to see the sky. You see background man out there working, and the soldier that is gonna kill Saint Peter while holding a whip, I believe it is, as well as on the ground you can see little rocks and pu- pebble pedal no not petals, what is the word, uh it's just rocks and whatnot. Like, oh, I'm sorry about that. My thoughts on his art. Over time, we could tell that his art has improved, as some look more blurry than others, or that could also be the rendering of the pictures. They are also more detailed to the point where it looks like if a digital camera would have taken the picture. As with some of the portraits, they're detailed to the point where it would rival some older modern day cameras. But Giovanni was a master of natural lighting and details when it came to his portraits. His painting style was best known for his interest in natural light and focus of brushwork. His paintings transformed Venice from being a minor player in the current art period known as the Renaissance to being able to rival the importance that Rome had over it. Overall, his paintings have survived the test of time, some better than others, because the amount of detail that he went into with his paintings is very impressive. There are even some paintings, there are even some drawings nowadays that you may see, wow, you may see them and say, wow, that is amazing. And that's what I believe he was able to do as well. Because when you see his paintings, you would say, wow, it's amazing. You wouldn't even think that it was drawn in 1450 something. While others' paintings, you would assume that they were older, as as the styles have as his paintings fluctuate is the word. Uh, these were my sources for the paintings. Each painting is majority of the paintings are held in the National Gallery of the UK, and that's the background information I used for his life part. Thank you for watching my presentation, and may you have a good day. And now to end this, stop.